Hello and welcome to Indian Masterminds. I am Pallavi, and today we have with us a distinguished former IPS officer who has spent 35 years in the police service and is widely known for using forensic science to solve complex criminal cases. After retiring in 2021, Dr. Keshav, a PhD in forensic psychology from the National Forensic Sciences University, has continued to train police officers and advise governments on forensic investigations, wildlife crime, and medicine investigation. He has helped secure conviction in 62 criminal cases using scientific evidence and played a pioneering role in developing the concept of use of conventional forensics in wildlife crime investigation, a field that gained international recognition. So, sir, welcome to Indian Mastermind. It is an honor to have you with us. So, sir, I was going through your profile. You were born and brought up in Ranchi. Correct me if I am wrong. You completed your 12th from there, and after that, you went to St. Stephen's College for studying
Yeah.
history. So I want to know this interest in forensics. Then you have done specialization courses in forensics and everything. But this interest in forensics was kicked in after you joined the Indian Police Service, or it was always there. What's the story? How this unfolded and became an integral part of your career and life as well?
Yeah. Actually, the story is this that, I always wanted to become a doctor.
Okay.
So, right from my sixth, seventh, I used to study biology and used to score the highest in the class. So, but when I came to a standard eighth or ninth, I think, then I realized that for becoming a doctor, you will have to study science. And, I was very poor in mathematics. I was very good in chemistry, moderately okay in physics, but very poor in mathematics. So I said, I cannot become a doctor because my maths is very poor, and I'll have to also study BSc and then go in for science and then take my medicine. So I was confronted with this issue and I was not prepared. And I assessed myself that I cannot possibly survive in science stream only because maths is very poor. So I didn't want to be a third class student in science and barely managed to pass. So I decided that I should not go in for mathematics. So I decided to go in for commerce. So after my 10th in Central School, I opted for commerce in St. Xavier's College, Ranchi. I studied commerce for 3 months. And again, I felt this is not my cup of tea. I cannot do so much of mathematics. So one fine morning, I decided that I'll take arts, and I convinced myself that if I take up arts, I will study 28 hours and get a first division, rather than study 48 hours in science and get a third class. So I took up history, and I was in BA final. And that time, the sessions used to be very late because of the education system. Then I'm talking about 1977. So when my session used to end, the time of Delhi University used to finish. When their admissions were open, my results were not open. So it was only in the year 1980, when I was in final year BA in Ranchi University in St. Xavier's College, that the sessions matched my result and that session. And then I appeared in the interview, and St. Stephen's College is the only college where interviews are taken for admissions. And I was fortunate enough in getting into the St. Stephen's College. I did my BA. Then in my MA, I appeared after my MA, I appeared for the UPSC and finally succeeded while doing MPhil in JNU. After succeeding that, still now I feel very bad that I was not able to become a doctor. So when in 1986 I joined the police service at the National Police Academy, Hyderabad. So the very first day when all those formalities were taking place, I was also given the syllabus of study,
Okay.
and in that syllabus, I found one subject called forensic science, and I was very happy, because it was almost something like medicine, something like medical. So I thought, the God has given me some opportunity to at least do something of medical.
Right.
So I started taking lots of interest in forensics. And I thought, that forensics is one thing that is a game changer because whatever we are taught to us, the theoretical part, the Indian Evidence Act, the Indian Evidence Act, IPC and CRPC, it's all common. You can't make any changes in them. And, the mastering them can make you a good police officer. But thereafter, I realized that if I master forensics, I can have an edge because very few students used to take interest in forensics. And I scored very good marks in forensics, and finally, I passed out as the assistant student of police. So, when I came to Gujarat, I came to know that the forensic lab of Gujarat, even during that time, 1986, it was a very high order. I picked up friendship with Dr. Vyas. And wherever I used to use forensics, I used to seek his guidance. And but when I was in the district, I used to seek guidance on phone. But the formative change came when I was posted as DIG CID crime in Gandhinagar. So my office and the forensics science lab were about 50 meters apart. And CID crime is the younger brother of CBI. And all, old cases, undetected cases used to come. So I used to use lots of forensics for detecting those cases in CID crime. And I detected a number of old cases through forensics. So whenever I used to confront with any issue, I used to immediately walk down to his office and seek his guidance. कि sir इसमें कैसे करें क्या करें. So it was almost like hands-on. And thereafter, and I was DIG CID crime for 4.5 years. That is quite, and even now I feel that those 4.5 years were the most formative years of my professional life when I honed my skills in forensic application. And thereafter, when I got into the CBI, then I started looking after the forensics of CBI. So, all these things contributed to shape out the forensics in me. And I felt that through forensics, we can ensure conviction of a accused. Now, I thought I must become a good police officer. Now, how to become a good police officer? I made up my mind that a good police officer is one who gets conviction in his cases which he has investigated. If I'm able to get conviction, it means I'm a good investigator. If I'm not able to get conviction, it means I'm not a good investigator. So, with this thing in mind, I thought CRPC, IPC, Indian Evidence Act, they are all common. But the use of forensics, I think it was a skill, it was an art. How to use forensics as an art. So that is what I kept experimenting things while application of forensics in crime investigation, and I mastered the skill and the art of using forensics. And that is how I became an avid practitioner in forensics. So after retirement, I always, in fact, I approached many universities for doing PhD in forensics. For the first time I met when I was SP Baroda Rural, I approached the Vice Chancellor of MS University, Professor Kane. He used to be there. And I requested him that I would like to register myself as a PhD in forensics. But he said, but your background is history, your BA in history and MPhil in history. You're not from the science stream. How you can do forensics? So I tried to convince him, but he was not convinced. So thereafter I left that. Then I came to Ahmedabad. I got posted to Ahmedabad. Then again I approached near my university that I want to do PhD. Then the same question, you're not a science student, how you can do PhD in forensic psychology. Then at that point of time, the Gujarat Forensic Sciences University was established. And then I approached Dr. Vyas that I would like to register myself as a PhD student. So I was the first PhD student in Gujarat Forensic Sciences University. But there also, the board which was assessing me, they said, you have no science background. We left science after 10th. Whatever was essential, you read that, and thereafter you never did science, then I think it will be difficult. Then I told them, and that time, I was DIG. So I said, "Okay, well, I have that time my field experience was 17 years. I said, I'm a 17 years practicing forensic in application in crime investigation. You can't get a better student than me for a PhD in forensics. So after much persuasion and much, haggling, then finally they decided, okay, well, we can take this thing that he is 17 years of active police life in forensics. So finally, I was inducted as a student for PhD, and I was the first student of PhD in Gujarat Forensic Sciences University. But incidentally, this I registered in 2009. And I distinctly remember the day I registered myself as the PhD candidate. After a day or two, I was picked up by the CBI, and I had to join CBI in Delhi. Now, my registration was there in Forensic Science University, and I was doing a job with the CBI. So I used every year, I was there for full 10 year. I was with the CBI. So for almost 6 to 7 years, I was not able to do much. So I used to keep seeking extension and doing a little bit of work, but I hardly found time for it. So when I returned from CBI, then again I was posted as Special Director Anti-Corruption Bureau in Gujarat, and thereafter as Director Anti-Corruption. I got some time. So I started doing a couple of studies and research on all those things. But finally, in the meantime, COVID happened. So it's so almost till 2019, I was just barely managing to do some work or the other. But I kept seeking extension. Finally, when I retired, then I thought, I must complete my PhD. So after retirement in 2021, I devoted full 4 years, and I completed my PhD in forensic psychology from National Forensic Sciences University. And I think it was 26th of September 2025 when I was awarded the PhD degree at the hands of the Honorable President of India at the convocation. So I became a PhD in forensic psychology, and now I teach how to use forensic psychology in crime investigation. This is a new area. Apart from my conventional forensics, this is my very pet subject and a topic of my PhD, wherein I used all the forensic based investigation technologies in crime investigation, and I did a PhD on that. So I my core competence, apart from use of conventional forensics, it is also use of forensic psychology in crime investigation. I have been teaching to very many universities, to the Delhi FSL, most of the forensic science laboratories, and forensic universities. I have been teaching forensic psychology. So this is how I did my PhD in forensics. And now, after having done PhD in forensics, I keep getting very many offers for teaching and training at the various institutions and various platforms. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir, definitely. I want to know, like, usage of, I have only seen usage of forensics in, movies or web series which are based on crime and investigation. One thing I have noticed is most of the time it's very important to collect forensic evidences at
Yes.
at a significant time. Otherwise, if you have like, you have created a gap, then it might
Yes.
fall in your favor. You won't get it. So, how important it is to get on time? And yeah, this is my first question. The second question is usually around forensics also we see a lot of there are many movies and shows which depicts taking forensic samples, their research and how the reports come. But what is one misconception that you notice that is regularly shown in movies or web series that is in pop culture, which are actually misconception?
एक्चुअली जो पिक्चर में दिखाते हैं वो ठीक है, बट एक्चुअल में वैसा होता नहीं है. It's a very, very, very tedious task. Like, to give you a very small example, suppose you get a blood, fresh blood at the scene of crime. आपने उसको पैकेज कर लिया, पैकेट में डाल दिया, उसको फोरेंसिक लैब में भेज दिया आपने. अब यहाँ पे आती है द पॉइंट ऑफ पैकेजिंग. हाउ वेल टू पैकेज. आपने ब्लड तो उठा लिया सीन ऑफ क्राइम से इन वट एवर फॉर्मेट, मे बी FDA कार्ड, वट एवर, बट द पैकेजिंग हैज नॉट बीन डन प्रॉपरली. उसको आपने प्लास्टिक के बैग में डाल दिया. फ्रेश ब्लड इन प्लास्टिक बैग. ठीक है. नाउ व्हेन इट गोज टू द लैब, it is opened after maybe 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, depend upon the waiting period in lab. तो आपको 1 साल के बाद आपने खोला उसको. Now that it was packed in a plastic bag after about a year back. तो क्या होता है, प्लास्टिक बैग में डाल दिया तो एयरेशन बंद हो जाती है, तो उसमें फंगल ग्रोथ हो जाएगा. अब फंगल ग्रोथ हो गया है तो फिर उसमें से कोई डीएनए नहीं निकलेगा, कोई टेस्ट नहीं हो पाएगा. सो इट हैज टू बी पैकेज्ड इन ए पेपर बैग. पेपर बैग हमेशा मिलता नहीं, प्लास्टिक हर जगह मिल जाता है. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द फ्लॉज कमिटेड बाय मेनी पीपल, कि जो फ्रेश ब्लड है उसको वो लोग प्लास्टिक में डाल देंगे. सो द कार्डिनल सिन हैज ऑलरेडी अकर्ड. तो अगर आपको आइडिया नहीं है कि कितनी जल्दी हमको पैकेज करना चाहिए, कैसे पैकेज करना चाहिए, कैसे भेजना चाहिए, देन इट विल टेक अ टॉल आफ्टर अबाउट a year. And at the time of trial, you will come to know that the forensic expert gives a report कि we have not been able to extract any DNA from this blood sample because fungal growth had taken place. So you did the job, but you did in a faulty way. Now this particular thing will not be shown in a film. वो तो
Usually,
दिखाएंगे,
they,
वो तो मतलब ये मैजिक वैन जैसा होता है कि पिकअप किया और वो रिपोर्ट मिल गया और हो गया. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. दैट इज वन. सेकेंडली, नाउ द पार्ट ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, नाउ कम्स द अनदर पार्ट, दैट इज चेन ऑफ कस्टडी. एंड विथ माई एक्सपीरियंस इन हैंडलिंग चेन ऑफ कस्टडी, मैं चेन ऑफ कस्टडी पे लेक्चर लेता हूँ कि चेन ऑफ स्टडीज कस्टडी कैसा होना चाहिए. सो आई रिमेंबर द डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ प्रोसिक्यूशन ऑफ गोवा and the director, Mrs. Dr. Poonam Bharne. She invited me to deliver a talk to all the public prosecutors of Goa on handling of objects, handling of packaging, and the chain of custody. During that, I cited in number of cases in which just because the chain of custody was not proved, the case fell flat. Now, this chain of custody, are not many people are knowing about it. Chain of custody means, chain of custody means at the scene of crime, you pick up the evidences, you pack it, you transport it to the police station in the Malkhana. From Malkhana, it has to go to the forensic lab. From forensic lab to the various experts. They would be examining the experts. And then again, it has to travel back. So this is that chain that has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. There has been no breakage. Like suppose you forget to mention from this point to this point who was the person who took it. So there is a break in chain of custody. So although you may have followed all the procedure, but just because of chain of custody, the case will get disapproved. Recently, I think about 10 days back, I think, there was Supreme Court judgment. I remember Justice Vikram Nath and one more honorable judge. They overturned the judgment from Sessions Court to High Court, who had convicted the accused for life imprisonment. They said, the chain of custody has been broken and we don't give any credence to the evidences collected. And the case has fallen flat. So, it is also technical things. So many technical things need to be taken care of. This chain of custody is very difficult to maintain. Not, I wouldn't really say difficult to maintain, but because, you're not aware कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. There are several cases in which they were not able to prove कि who had carried the exhibit from the police station to the forensic science lab. उसकी रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं है, पता नहीं कैसे पहुंच गया वहाँ. And these are the points that are picked up by the defense. Because there is breakage. How do we value the evidentiary value of this particular evidence? So these are technical issues. So what I teach is what is law? Law is all procedural. आपने सब कुछ किया लेकिन प्रोसीजर फॉलो नहीं किया तो गया केस. So this is the particular thing that needs to be learned and that is not shown in the films. वो तो बता रहे हैं ये मिल गया, मैच कर दिया, पकड़ लिया उसको. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. एंड देयर इज नो मैजिक मैन. देयर इज जस्ट नो मैजिक मैन. तो बाय सीइंग फिल्म्स विल थिंक यार इन्वेस्टिगेशन कितना आसान, हम भी कर सकते हैं. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. Very difficult to maintain that chain of command, that chain of custody, then each and everything in a proper way, properly documented. It is not documented properly. So
Is
these are some of the pitfalls.
this the reason we have so many unsolved cases, or we can say
Yeah.
the cases? This is one of the major. Okay. And so you always talk about, to build a network of police officers passionate about forensic investigation. So, what are the one, two changes you believe are urgently needed in police training to make, these to make scientific investigation the norm rather than the exception? Because there are breakage you were just mentioning, which comes with a huge loss also for any case.
Yeah, yeah,
People lives are destroyed and everything, like बहुत सारी
yeah.
चीजें. So
I would like to narrate my experiment that I have conducted in Assam. I'm also advisor to the government of Assam for forensics. So when I joined Assam, I had a meeting with the Honorable CM, and I suggested to him that we need to have homegrown forensic experts. A person from Chennai would not like to come to Guwahati. He may find it difficult, language is different, everything is different. So he may stick only till the point that he doesn't get a good job. The moment he gets a good job, he will run away from there. So I floated the concept that we need to have homegrown forensic experts. And for that purpose, we need to have a training institution only on forensics. So since I have been very closely associated with the National Forensic Sciences University, I was involved right from the beginning when it was Gujarat Forensic Sciences University, and thereafter when it became National Forensic Science University. So I said, sir, we need to have a branch of National Forensic Sciences University in Assam, so that our students, they don't have to travel to all the places there. They get trained here only and they get job here only and they remain here. So that's a very good idea. But he said, how can that can happen? I said, I can certainly speak to the vice chancellor and request him for the establishment here. And whatever they require, the state government should be able to provide them. He said, yes, yes, please go ahead. So right from his chamber, I spoke to the vice chancellor and made him speak to the Honorable CM. I told him, okay, sir, the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam would like to speak to you. So he spoke to him and he said, Ki, whatever you want, we will be able to give you, but please start an institution here. So the demand was 50 acres of land, and if we give that, then we can start that. So I still remember it was Thursday. So he said, Ki, when can your team come here? So Dr. Vyas said, Ki, our team can reach you on Monday. So on Monday, the team reached. For 2 days, we scouted for 50 acres of land. And the Assam Chief Minister, he put all the people, revenue people on job to identify 50 acres of land in and around. So we were shown a couple of land in which we liked a particular piece of land. And then finally, the Honorable Chief Minister gave that piece of land in 5 days. So I was able to get 50 acres of land for establishing Forensic Sciences University in Assam, in Guwahati, near Guwahati. It's about 28 kilometers. So now the issue was that now we have got a Forensic Science University, but construction will take hell of a lot of time, 2 to 3 years. What to do in between? So I suggested to him, sir, if you can give us some a stopgap arrangement, like some building where we can possibly start the course. So he said, yes, we'll be able to give you. So he was able to give us 15 rooms in the Guwahati Medical College. And the issue was sometime in March. And in the June, we were able to start our course. So I think 2 or 3 batches have already rolled out from there. And National Forensic Science University is being constructed now. So now you are getting homegrown forensic experts from Assam who are willing to do the job. And now all those students will be able to fill the gap of forensic experts. Now the other good thing that happened, that the government also passed a new act, BNSS Act, you might have heard about that, in which Section 176(3) says that in all the cases in which forensics is mandatory, in which the punishment is more than 7 years. So by now you're required to have so many forensic experts. So this gap will now be filled by these students. So I think this is going to be a game changer when we have homegrown forensic experts readily available and they throng to the scene of crime immediately. So I also gave a concept of technical and forensic support unit, which I started in the CBI in 2010. That we called it TAFSU, Technical and Forensic Support Unit. So I gave a concept like, in medical, you have paramedics. In legal area, you have paralegals. तो हमने कहा कि पैरा फोरेंसिक्स क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? Who bridges the gap between a forensic expert and this person? जब तक फोरेंसिक एक्सपर्ट नहीं आता तब तक कोई क्या करेगा? So I christened this term called TAFSU, Technical and Forensic Support Unit, which has gained currency in CBI, and now you will be happy to know that when I started, all the journal directors, they had a very, very small task force. So I gave a proposal to the government for all, I think about 33 crores. And now after 10 years, I came to know that, they are now established at all over the places, and very heavy investment in that. So now, each and every area has got a forensic department with them. Now you don't have to depend on only one forensic lab. So here also, I suggested to the Honorable CM that, sir, we must also train our officers. Now, for training officers, what is my experiment is that who reaches the scene of crime initially, wherever any crime takes place. It is possibly the first responder would be a constable. Maybe thereafter the sub-inspector, the Thana in charge. So I thought that these are the people whom I must empower. इनको अगर हम empower कर देते हैं तो हमारी हाथ लंबे हो जाते हैं. There may be 10,000 police constables in Assam, but there would be only 500 to 600 sub-inspectors. So why not empower these people? So I suggested to the Honorable CM, sir, we have newly recruited sub-inspectors who have just joined the service. We must get them trained at Forensic Science University in Gandhinagar. He said, well, 500 को train करा दीजिए. I said, sir, 500 के साथ कैसे train कर सकते हैं? So I said, I again spoke to the Vice Chancellor of Forensic Science University. I said, sir, we would like to get our Assam newly recruited sub-inspectors on forensics. He said, ठीक है, आप batches बना के भेजिए. So for the past 2.5 years, we have been sending 50 newly recruited sub-inspectors to get trained in forensics at National Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar, for 1 month. They remain at Forensic Science University for 1 month. I don't think any state would have done this by sending newly recruited sub-inspectors for 1 month at government expense to be trained in the National Forensic Science University. Now, these are the people whom I would like to use as TAFSU. Before the forensic expert reaches, they can bridge the gap. They can become our para forensics people, although they are not forensic experts. They are police officers. But certainly they can preserve the scene of crime. They can spot the things, कि कहाँ पे से क्या करना, किसको बुलाना है, so on and so forth. So they become a bridge. So, this particular thing, empowering the people who are on the grassroots, who have boots on the ground, उनको अगर empower कर देते हैं ना, then things will take a different chance. Because, SP साहब को time नहीं है उतना. All senior officers don't have time.
Right.
Now, investigation को time चाहिए. आपका focus चाहिए. These are the people, if we empower them, whom I call mission enablers. They are the mission enablers. So we need to empower these people. I'm very proud to tell you that I started training the newly recruited sub-inspectors. I said, let there be two-pronged attack. One batch goes to the Forensic Science University, and the others I will teach in Guwahati. So I started teaching them, but the problem is there that, calling them all to Guwahati, then the administrative issues, the district issues used to come. So I thought instead of calling them over to Guwahati, why should I not go to them? So I volunteered that I would go to all the ranges, 7 ranges, covering I think about 33 and 34 police stations across Assam. And then I would train them at their convenience. So I studied the crime pattern of Assam and gave a prescription that you need to train yourselves in DNA investigation. And secondly, forensic psychology to use as a tool in investigation. So I toured all the ranges of Assam, and at every range, I would train about 100 people from all the various districts at the range level. So I would have trained, I think, about 1,000 people in Assam. Now, this is what I'm telling you. Now, this experiment, going to the grassroots and training those people who can be the game changers, the mission enablers. Now, what has happened? A person who is trained by me, he develops a special affinity with me. He may be scared to talk to his inspector. Forget about talking to the DYSP. He cannot think of speaking to the SP. But with me, he is very free. So what has happened now? I am very happy to with this experiment. Now, many a times I will get a video call. Sir, I am in Assam and such village. A murder has taken place. This is the video. Please guide us. What are the things to be done? If there is no internet connectivity, they would record the scene and they would send it to me when they come in the range. So I would make a presentation on that. कि देखो इसमें ऐसा ऐसा करना. Now that becomes his navigation. That becomes his SOP. He implements that thing in the investigation. So this is a new type of experiment that I'm conducting, and I'm thinking that this can play a major role if it is applicable at a national level. I volunteer my services. So I generally go wherever they call me, I go and train them. So my experiment in Assam can be a replicable model for all the states in the country. I volunteer my services for that. I think if I'm able to create 100 forensic experts in the police, the investigation will really take a change.
So, on that note only, I would like to ask and end our conversation also. Like, if we sort our forensics, like all the gaps, if we are able to fill, how much it is going to affect our investigation and conviction and the cases that are bombarded in the courts?
देखिए
By
ऐसा है कि अभी का जो कन्विक्शन रेट है आई थिंक इन ओवरऑल crime conviction rate is about 54% overall, and in major crimes it is 34%. तो मेरा ये कहना है कि what about the people who are minus 54%? What about the people who are minus 34%? उनका कोई कोई लेखा जोखा रखेगा क्या? With all our wherewithals, we have not been able to get pass mark. स्कूल कॉलेज में कितना पास मार्क होता है? 35%, 40% होता है ना. तो मेजर क्राइम्स में तो हमारा 34% है, तो हम पास नहीं किए हैं भाई.
या
With
फिर
so much of experience, with so many years of our independence, we have not been able to cross 40% in a conviction. My heart bleeds for those 60% people. मेजर क्राइम्स में तो 34% है. इनका क्या है? तो दैट इज द चैलेंज. So when I teach in forensic colleges and institutes, I give this figure. I said कि -34% जो है ना वो आपका चैलेंज है. You can bridge that gap. तो with no training, if we are able to get 34% of conviction rate, I certainly think कि अगर हम ट्रेनिंग अच्छा से कर देते हैं, अच्छा से इम्प्लीमेंट हो जाता है, तो इट कैन सर्टेनली गो beyond 44, 45, 50. तो चैलेंज तो बहुत है और ये हो सकता है.
it's
It
doable.
only
Like with
requires, that is doable. It only requires your perseverance. I will, मेरा लास्ट ट्रेनिंग सेशन जो आसाम में मैंने किया ऑन द 18th and 19th of June, उसका मैं आपको फिगर्स भेजूंगा. आई मेक ए प्रेजेंटेशन ऑन दैट विच आई गिव टू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की ये हमने ट्रेन किया, उसका ये फीडबैक आया है. आई सेंड दैट प्रेजेंटेशन टू यू. कैन योरसेल्फ सी हाउ मच इज द नीड एंड द फीडबैक ऑफ द ट्रेनिंग सेशन. तो हमारा 1-to-1 रिलेशन हो गया वो सब इंस्पेक्टर के साथ. ही फोन्स में, सर ऐसा हो गया क्या करें, इसको सर इसके लिए क्या करें हम. तो दैट बॉन्ड
is
वो
is
मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा, दैट फॉरेंसिक ब्रिज.
so on that note, thank you so much, sir, for this conversation.
Thank you.
Even I am enriched. I have known a lot about the investigation and everything. So thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thanks.
So this was Dr. Keshav. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. To listen to more such interesting conversation and any stories from bureaucracy, like and subscribe Indian Mastermind. And do not miss to hit the bell icon to get instant updates. Till then, this is Pallavi signing off. Stay tuned, stay curious, and thank you for watching Indian Mastermind.